Hello everybody, welcome back to my Unreal Engine tutorials here on ToadNet. I know this one's been a little while coming, but I've had to decide the best way to do this, since I thought of about maybe 5 ways to accomplish the same thing here, and I think this is going to be the most straightforward. What is the thing I'm talking about? Well, over on the Weeping Angel tutorial, someone requested a blinking system. The system where if you, or that like your eyes are drying out, you have to manually blink when there's an enemy that would come and only move when you can't see it. So you might be staring right at it, but your eyes are getting really dry, and then you gotta either choose to either let them get dry and they'll automatically blink for you, or you could press a button and then it will blink and refresh the hydration of your eyeballs. Okay, so interesting mechanic, been seen in a few horror games, and we're going to make something like that. So not only will we do the blinking, we're also going to do a refresh of the Weeping Angel, since we pretty much have to rebuild that whole unit from scratch for this. So all I have here to start us off is a very simple player character. So if we open this up, it is just movement forward, backwards, side to side, and rotation. That is it. And then we've got ourselves a map. So we are starting right from a blank project, nothing else, so it should be very easy to follow along. So what we're going to start with is setting up a variable for the blinking. Or more accurately, not for the blinking, but for whether or not our creature can move or can be seen. So let's make a blueprint. We are going to make a game mode. Game mode. And we are going to choose game mode base, because I don't need the other things it gives me. We're going to call this GM, so for game mode, GM underscore jump scare. And there we go. And then now if we go over to edit, project settings, maps and modes, and we can set our default game mode to GM jump scare right there. So just jump scare. Done. Yay, we did that. Now let's actually open it up and make it do things. So we just want to add a new variable. We are going to call this can be seen. Okay. And the reason we're putting this here is because the game mode is going to load with every level. Unless we manually override it, which is a possibility. But in general, if we're not making any other game modes, this will travel with us to each level. So, actually, let's do can move. Okay, and then it's just an on-off can move. We're going to compile, save, and we're going to leave that as off to begin with. Okay. And then, on our player, let's make us a blinking thing, okay? So we're going to open up our player character, and we are going to make 2 new variables. Okay, first new variable is going to be hydration. Okay, whether I spelt that right or not, I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comments. And then we're going to call this one max. Hydration. And there we go. This way you could put in a system so that you can, in the future, upgrade your eye hydration. Woo! And then eye hydration, max eye hydration. There we go. And we are going to make ourselves one of our custom timers. So we are going to do event begin play. Then we are going to Okay, so we want to do 2 things. So we are actually going to stop this for a moment. And we are going to go over and make ourselves a user interface. And we're going to do a widget blueprint. And we are going to call this our HUD. Okay. And in our HUD, we are going to give ourselves a slider. I'd recommend making this a animation instead of a slider. But slider's already pre-built for us, nice and easy. We are going to put it in the bottom right corner. We're going to anchor it to always be in the bottom right corner. And there we go. So no matter what we scale our UI to, it's always going to be anchored relative to the bottom right corner. We're going to turn that down a bit. And we are going to save that and then go over to the graph. We are going to, in the graph, make a couple variables. So we are going to make a variable player actor, and that is going to be a variable type actor, and a reference. Okay, file, save, and then let's get this all set up while we're here. So back in our designer, we want to select our thingy there, and we want to bind its value. So right here, value, bind, create a binding. Okay. And in our binding, we are going to get player actor. We are going to cast to player, which is the name of my player character. Okay, so I've already got this preset up. Player character is going to be whatever your character or your pawn or whatever is for your game. With this, we are going to get eye hydration. We are going to get max eye hydration. And we are going to divide the smaller number by the bigger number. We're going to divide a float by a float. And this is going to give us a percentage. Well, kind of. Oh, that is not what I wanted to do. So this new variable will just delete because I accidentally made a variable. We're going to straighten to eye hydration, just making sure that everything looks pretty here. Bring that over. And we're going to do that. The reason we're doing this is because the sliders work on a value between 0 and 1. So what this is going to do is get the percentage of hydration. And if it's at 1, it's going to be 100%. If it's at 0, it's going to be 0%. And it's going to drive the slider accordingly. Okay. And then what else can we do? We can do a image, I think. Yeah, we can do an image. And we want the image to be anchored to the center of the screen. And our image will be... Ooh, where is style and appearance? There we go. We want to make the tint black. And there we are. And this is just a super simple setup, okay? And we want to make it hidden. Yeah, visibility hidden. And there we go. So compile. Save. And we're gonna call this our blink wall. Sure. Let's call it blink wall. And we're gonna go back to our graph. Okay. So now we want to do something, and we are going to say custom event blink. And we are going to get our blink wall. We are going to set visibility to visible. We are then going to delay. And we're going to delay 0.5 seconds. It's going to be like the longest blink of your life. And then we're going to set visibility. And this can all be done really nicely with animations and making things actually look good. We aren't doing that. This is just a proof of concept. And then we're going to make it hidden. There we go. And we are going to get our player actor. We're going to cast to player. Again, my cast to player will be your cast to whatever your player pawn's name is, or player character's name is. We are going to get max eye hydration, and then we are going to set eye hydration. We're just going to set the current hydration, current eye hydration to the max. Okay. You can compile and save that. Okay. So, our loady bar, our slider. And how do we bring that to front? Where is our Z order? Z order. What happens if I set that to 1? There we go, that comes on top. Perfect. Okay, so we've got this all set up. We have our variables in our player character. Let's set up our button press. So we are going to go to project settings. We're going to go to input, and we are going to add a new action map. And we're going to call that blink. And we're going to set blink to spacebar. We want to make it easy for them to use, and easier for them to accidentally use. If they're getting freaked out and they accidentally like shudder on their keyboard, they might accidentally hit space, which actually makes things get closer to them. Ha, how evil is that? Okay. So, there we go. We are going to go back to our player now. And on begin play, we are going to create widget. Okay. We are going to create a widget of HUD. And we are going to add to viewport. We are also going to set player actor. Actually, we'll set player actor before adding to viewport. And we are going to get a self reference. Get reference to self. And there we go. So what this is doing is saving a reference to our player to the HUD we just created. Okay? And then we're going to select all that. We're going to hit C, and we are going to tell it to make HUD and save player ref. And there we go, just so we know what each part of our code does. We also want to right-click on our return value here, and we're going to promote that to a variable. We are going to call that variable HUD, so that we can get it later. So we are also going to set our HUD. Okay, and there we go. Now, let's right-click up here. We're going to go blink. We now have our blinking input. We are going to get our reference to HUD, and we are going to tell it to blink. There we go. So that just sends the command to the HUD. Okay, and our max eye hydration will be 50. Sure. Now we'll do 100. And we'll just de-increment it by tens. Okay, so now, if we hit spacebar, we are blinking. Yay, we're blinking. Oh, and we're now setting our eye hydration to full when it's at 0. Okay, now let's make our eye hydration go down. That is the next fun bit. So, we are going to come off here and we're going to make a custom loop. So, we are going to come off and we are going to use a sequence. We are then going to pull off number 1 and go gate, and then attach operator 0. Okay, so that way we are opening the gate first and then entering it. That is very important. And then we're going to copy and paste our sequence. Oh. And go right there. And then off of 0, we want to start a delay. And our delay will be every 0.5 seconds. And enter. Okay, so every 0.5 seconds, we are going to do this. And what are we going to do? We are going to get eye hydration. And then we are going to set eye hydration. And we are going to do another thing. We are going to add a new variable, and we are going to do dryness. Okay, and what dryness is, or will be, is how dry the air is, how fast our eyes should dry out. And we get this, and we want to go eye hydration minus dryness. Okay. And that will be, compile so that I can edit a variable. That will be 10. And then we are going to set eye hydration. Okay. Now off that, we are going to go and we're going to do a branch. Straighten connection, branch. And our branch is going to be eye hydration, so we'll get eye hydration is less than or equal to 0. Just in case something funny happens and it did go below 0, we want to make sure that if it's less than or equal to 0, we are going to do this. And what are we going to do? We are going to get our HUD, and then we are going to tell it to blink. And there we go. And we're just gonna do this. Move this down, move this back. We're gonna do C loop. And then this here. C set or D increment I hydration. We could have just did eye dryness or blink modifier or whatever else. Hydration is kind of silly term to use there, although it is apt. And then here, C, if eye hydration is 0, blink. Okay, so this will make us automatically blink if our eye hydration reaches 0. Otherwise, we can manually blink to refresh our eyes. So if we save, we go play, look at that. Our eye hydration is de-incrementing, and we blink, and it's de-incrementing, and we blink, and it's de-incrementing, and we will blink again here. Again, a smooth animation might be the better way to go there. But that is that. That is our de-incrementation system to make us blink, and our blinking system. Okay, so that is 20 minutes. We are going to pause this here, and then the next video will be resetting up the angel. So we'll see you then.